Welcome, esteemed viewers. Today we expose the greatest mob boss of the ancient world, a man who terrified Rome. Many believe Attila crushed the Roman Empire by smashing giant stone walls with sheer brutal military force. But the shocking truth is entirely different. He possessed no siege weapons to break those mighty defenses. Instead of a conqueror, he operated like a ruthless mob boss, running a massive global extortion scheme. Let us explore how one single man bypassed the strongest walls on earth, forcing the mighty Roman Empire to pay. It is the early 5th century. The Roman Empire is heavily divided into the east and the west. Though their military strength is fading, they remain massive superpowers, protected by giant fortresses. Constantinople stands as the ultimate stronghold, shielded by the Theodosian wall system. These colossal fortifications are virtually impenetrable, built with layers of solid stone and deep moats. Inside these secure stone walls, the elites live in pure luxury, funded by an endless stream of heavy taxes. Roman emperors sit comfortably on golden thrones, believing their capital city is safe from any danger. For any nomadic tribe of that era, launching a direct assault on these massive cities was a fatal choice. Barbarian armies lacked the engineering skills required to build complex siege towers or giant catapults. A traditional siege would only mean starving their own forces outside the walls, while the wealthy Romans feasted inside. According to ancient records, many warlords tried to breach these defenses, only to face total ruin. The Romans felt completely invincible. They watched from high towers as disorganized raiders broke against the stone. Gold continued to flow into the empire's treasury, collected from vast agricultural lands far away. The countryside produced the essential wheat and meat needed to feed the massive urban populations. This agricultural supply chain was the true lifeblood of Rome, quietly sustaining its arrogant power. However, this vast network of farms and unprotected villages was the empire's hidden vulnerability. While the capital was heavily fortified, the rural territories were entirely exposed to attacks. The Roman military was too slow to defend every distant border against highly mobile invaders. This strategic imbalance created a perfect opportunity for a new kind of predator to emerge. From the harsh Eurasian steppes, a brutal force was gathering, united under a single terrifying leader. The Huns were not mindless savages. They were highly organized, pragmatic, and driven by immense greed. They observed the Roman tactical flaws with cold calculation, realizing the walls were a massive trap. Why lose thousands of good men trying to break solid rock when the empire's vast wealth lay completely exposed? The Roman elites were completely blind to this incoming threat, too busy playing endless political games. They falsely assumed that superior architecture alone would guarantee their permanent survival and glory. But the rules of ancient warfare were about to be violently rewritten by a brilliant barbarian king. The mighty Roman Empire was about to face a nightmare it could neither understand nor defeat in battle. If you were an emperor trapped behind unbreakable stone walls while your lands burned, what would you do to survive? Enter Attila, the supreme leader of the Huns, a man whose very name struck fear into millions of hearts. He was a brilliant strategist, a pragmatic warlord who viewed warfare purely as a business transaction. His Hunnic cavalry was the most devastating mobile force on earth, striking with absolute terrifying speed. These fierce riders were practically born in the saddle, mastering the deadly art of the reflex horn bow. They could fire armor-piercing arrows accurately while riding at full gallop, devastating enemy lines. Moving without heavy supply trains, they appeared like ghosts, decimating defenders and vanishing quickly. However, Attila faced a massive strategic crisis. His incredible army had one critical weakness. The Huns completely lacked siege technology. They had no battering rams, no trebuchets, and no engineers. Attila knew that throwing his elite light cavalry against the towering Roman walls was extremely foolish. If he besieged Constantinople, his horses would starve, and his fast-moving army would fall apart. The traditional path of conquest was blocked. He could not capture the capital city to claim the throne. Attila stared at the distant Roman fortresses, calculating the exact cost of a direct, massive assault. He realized that conventional warfare would destroy his most valuable asset, his highly trained horsemen. He needed a smarter and more ruthless approach to extract the massive wealth hidden inside those stone walls. The tension escalated. The Roman legions refused to fight him in the open field, hiding like cowards. They hoped the harsh winter and lack of supplies would force the barbarian horde to eventually retreat. This was a dangerous, deadly game of patience. If Attila made one wrong move, his empire would quickly collapse. His commanders demanded glory and conquest, urging him to attack the fortifications despite the massive risks. But Attila possessed the cold, calculating mind of an apex predator. He refused to play by Roman rules. He understood that the true source of Roman power was not the stone walls, but the economy funding them. The empire required a constant influx of grain and taxes from the provinces to maintain its massive army. If that critical supply line was suddenly severed, the giant Roman war machine would grind to a rapid halt. Attila shifted his gaze away from the impregnable capital and looked towards the wealthy, unprotected farms. The solution to his problem was horrifyingly simple, yet it required absolute, unprecedented cruelty. He would not directly attack the fortress. He would slowly strangle it by turning the surrounding lands to pure ash. The nomadic king prepared to unleash hell on earth, transforming warfare into a large-scale terror campaign. He was about to show the Roman emperors that hiding behind thick walls would not save them from his wrath. The storm was finally breaking. The era of traditional conquest was over, replaced by brutal extortion. Attila unleashed his brilliant and devastating new strategy, completely ignoring the giant stone walls. Instead of a direct siege, he ordered his massive army to mercilessly burn all the surrounding lands. The highly mobile Hunnic cavalry swarmed quickly across the rich, undefended agricultural plains. They ruthlessly decimated rural populations, turning thriving farm villages into pure ash. Countless thousands of acres of golden wheat fields were set ablaze, creating a terrifying inferno. Thick, toxic black smoke entirely blocked out the sun, a visible nightmare for the helpless Roman guards above. Attila targeted the empire's vulnerable economic heart, destroying its food supply chain. Panic quickly spread as surviving refugees fled toward the overcrowded capital city in fear. By destroying the golden crops, the Huns effectively triggered an artificial, catastrophic famine. Inside the mighty walls of Constantinople, the elite citizens began to slowly starve to death. The Romans realized their magnificent stone defenses were entirely useless against this tactic. What good is a giant, towering fortress if the massive army inside has absolutely nothing to eat? Attila simply sat back, watching the magnificent Roman economy collapse under immense pressure. He did not need to lose a single brave soldier attacking the fortress gates. Brutal hunger did the work for him. The proud Roman emperor, Theodosius II, sweated in absolute terror on his throne. His vast imperial treasury was useless if he could not buy basic food to feed his rioting citizens. The psychological pressure was unbearable, forcing the Romans to finally beg for mercy.
Have pity on your servants.
The great empire was officially held hostage, trapped inside the very stone walls meant to protect them. In a deeply humiliating move, the emperor sent desperate envoys to negotiate a peace treaty. The Roman ambassadors left the safety of the capital, carrying white flags into the burned wasteland. They were slowly led to the nomadic camp, where the barbarian king waited with a cold, mocking smile. Attila dictated his terms not as a traditional conqueror, but as a ruthless mafia boss.
Raze your city to the ground.
He demanded an astronomical ransom, completely restructuring the ancient global economy. If they ever wanted to harvest their fields again, they had to pay a massive annual protection fee. Just as ancient historians recorded, the Roman Empire was forced to sign a treaty of pure shame. This was an absolutely brilliant extortion scheme, forcing the victim to fund the attacker's growing empire. Attila understood that holding a superpower hostage was far more profitable than ruling it. Why manage complex cities and deal with endless politics when you can just violently extract the cash? The Huns secured an endless stream of pure wealth without ever needing to govern Roman territories. The Roman military machine was fundamentally broken, defeated by economic terror. The outcome was the most expensive and humiliating extortion bill in human military history. Every single year, heavy wagons filled with solid gold arrived at the barbarian king's wooden camp. Countless thousands of pounds of pure Roman solidus coins were dumped at the feet of the nomadic warlord. Attila sat arrogantly on his rough wooden throne, ironically wearing a stolen royal silk cloak. He coldly watched the desperate Roman officials kneel in the dirt, handing over their empire's fortune. The annual tribute was tripled, draining the imperial treasury to keep the barbarian horde away. Rome effectively became a pathetic, obedient client state, paying a heavy subscription for life. The massive gold paid to Attila was melted down, transforming Roman pride into new Hunnic weapons. This massive wealth allowed Attila to expand his brutal influence across the entire continent. He bought the loyalty of other barbarian tribes, creating an unstoppable mercenary coalition. The ultimate irony of history unfolded as Roman taxpayers directly funded their own destruction. Attila never broke a single stone of the Theodosian walls to achieve total victory. He proved that a rigid, defensive mindset is ultimately fatal against a highly adaptive enemy. Roman reliance on heavy fortifications made them completely vulnerable to supply chain attacks. He was not merely just a savage warrior, he was the most ruthless CEO of the ancient world. His business model was pure violence, and his primary currency was overwhelming psychological fear. The legacy of Attila the Hun is a terrifying masterclass in pragmatic, asymmetrical warfare. He bypassed military strength by attacking the vulnerable economic foundations of power. Even today, his brilliant extortion tactics are heavily studied by modern military strategists. The once glorious Roman Empire never truly recovered from this devastating financial hemorrhage. Their vast gold was gone, their imperial pride was shattered, and their mighty walls stood as empty monuments. Attila proved that absolute power belongs to those who control the essential flow of resources. He remains history's absolute greatest extortionist, humbling a superpower without a siege. If your entire nation relied on one single supply chain, how would you defend it from total ruin? The illusion of total security is often the exact weakness a brilliant predator will exploit. The Huns faded into history, but their terrifying lesson on economic warfare echoes forever. A kingdom built purely on gold and static defense will always bow to the master of mobility. Attila successfully blackmailed the greatest empire without ever breaching its giant stone city walls. Was his strategy pure military genius or just savage cruelty? Share your thoughts in the comments now. If you enjoyed this strategic historical deep dive, please remember to like, share, and subscribe today.